hell is going on with all these great actors like that were very popular and are known for like Goodfellas and like mob movies dying. This completes the trifecta, I guess. They always say it comes in threes. We had Ray Liotta a couple months ago. We had James Caan earlier this month, and now we have Paul Sorvino, dead at 83 years young.
This is like the scene from Godfather 1, the baptism. This is the slowest baptism ever. You know, it's just popping them off.
In a way, yeah. Of course, Paul Sorvino, though, a lot of good roles. He was one of those authority figure kind of character actors who, like, every time he spoke in movies, you listened. Like, he had that sort of presence. Obviously, he's most famous for Paulie Cicero in Goodfellas, who was based on Paul Vario, who's a very interesting character. Let me tell you, I was perusing the Paul Vario Wikipedia page earlier today. That was an interesting criminal. I'll tell you right now. If you guys get time, I recommend reading about him. But of course, I think his defining role was absolutely Goodfellas, especially everybody references that scene when he cuts garlic with a razor blade. That is the one scene that will always be subscribed to Paul Sorvino. And immediately when I read about his passing, one of the lines that heard in my head, funny enough, it was Ray Liotta's voice saying, I was trying to find the exact quote over here, but Paulie might have moved slow, but it was only because Paulie didn't have to move for anybody. And that just kind of sums up his impact in Goodfellas through and through. He was that kind of a character. You know, he was a presence of an individual as well. He was in Romeo and Juliet. That was the Baz Luhrmann movie. He was also Henry Kissinger in Nixon. Yeah. He was in the Nixon movie. He was also in The Cooler, one of the most underrated gambling movies, gambling dramas, rather, that I can think of.
The Rocketeer.
Yes, indeed. There you go. That's another good one. Even one of his last roles was a movie called The Last Poker Game, which actually looks very interesting. Martin Landau's in it. I have to go back and watch that. But yeah, it's sad to read about that too. Another great role. He was who the character, if you watch it now, I always find a way to reference this thing. If you watch it now, the villain is 100% indisputably, unequivocally Trump. Unequivocally. He was Shaq in Hey Arnold the movie.
Oh.
He was the villain Shaq, who's trying to destroy the neighborhood to make a shopping center, and he's got Shaq Enterprises and a big-ass building and everything with his name all over it. Like, he is indisputably Trump. But he was good in that movie, too. He was a good voice actor, too, and what limited voice acting he did do. I'll throw it over to you, Joe. Any words about Paul Sorvino, a fellow Italian brethren of yours?
We're dropping like flies out here, Steve. No, I mean, like, look, I said it when we talked about James Caan and said about Ray Liotta. It's just like, there's like a sudden surge of just mobster actors just, like, passing away. It makes me afraid, like, you know, like, now that it's been 3, I know, like, it's like things, like, you know, things happen in 3s, but, like, still it makes me go, like, crap, you know, De Niro, Pacino, Pesci, they're all getting up there in age, too, like, you know, to where, you know, they're about to hit their 80s and everything. I'm like, I'm not ready to be without them either. But as far as Paul Sorvino, man, I mean, like, this was somebody, I mean, like, as you said, most well known for cutting up that slice of garlic in Goodfellas, as well as the other roles you mentioned. The first time I saw him was when I watched The Rocketeer as a kid. I guess the Hey Arnold movie. I didn't know he was the villain in that, so I guess that was another role I saw him when I was a kid. But as I got older, the Nixon movie where he played Henry Kissinger, like you said. Goodfellas, of course. Money Talks with Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker. He was in this show. I mean, it's okay. No, you know, the show's actually pretty good. I gotta watch more of it. I never got around to finishing the first season, but Godfather of Harlem, he's in it with Forrest Whitaker. Definitely great role for him in that as well. A lot of great actors in that too. And it's so weird because I was looking at his IMDb page, and he's gonna be one of those actors that, like, he's passed away, but the dude always did so many projects, big, small, straight to DVD, whatever you want to call it, that, like, the dude will be dead, like, for years, but, like, something will come out. Like James Gandolfini, same thing. Like, it's been like 5 years later and we're still getting, like, another movie with Paul Sorvino in it and everything, because the guy did so many projects.
Retroactive. People will go back and look at some of his stuff. I pulled up a 1979 TV movie that he did with LeVar Burton that I now really want to watch.
LeVar Burton, man. um, yeah, I mean, like, it sucks to see. This was one of my in terms of like mob actors. I always thought like he had he did very well in Goodfellas and everything, and I always thought like, man, this guy, like, he always plays like secondary characters or whatever, but he owns it every time. To me, he does it so damn good. I can't remember him in Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. I'm trying to remember him, but I haven't seen that movie in so long. I meant to rewatch it before we watched Elvis. But yeah, man, it sucks to see another person go. I watched the clip of his daughter winning the Oscars and like winning her Oscar award, and like
that was so beautiful.
That was so nice. Yeah, I watched that clip and like I was just like, damn, man, like we lost a good one, but hey, made it to 83 at least. That's always a great thing because look what happened to Ray Liotta way too soon, way too soon. Anyways, Dom.
Paul Sorvino's landmark performance in Jersey Shore Shark Attack.
I knew you were going to say something like that because he did so many movies like this.
Cannot go unquestioned. No, man. Hey, look, you took the words right out of my mouth. He's just one of those actors that's always there, and then when he's gone, you didn't even realize that he was still around. But his effect on the industry, on the things you watch, is you won't even realize it. You still won't realize it until maybe you take a look at his Wikipedia page, and you'd have to take a deep dive into that. But it's just interesting. Rule of threes, hopefully anymore. There were 5 families in The Godfather. Keep that in mind. In total, but until then, rest in peace to one of the one of the greats. That's a subjective thing, but a hard-working actor, boots on the ground, didn't stop working. You gotta appreciate that.
Can I just end with this? And I didn't see this until the other day. Did you see his reaction to Harvey Weinstein?
No,
I did catch a clip of that because his daughter was allegedly solicited by, I mean, we'll probably believe it,
harassed,
piece of shit. Yeah, harassed, maybe even like offered, like he was gonna ensnare her allegedly into his his scheme, and then she thankfully rejected that offer, and then she was secretly blacklisted, or just word got around, and then Sorvino just went off when the whole Me Too thing took off.
Let me give you this quote. This is an absolutely exceptional quote because this is his daughter, Mira Sorvino, who again won the Oscar for Mighty Aphrodite. Listen to this quote. I'll read it verbatim. When asked about Weinstein to TMZ, Sorvino said, "He's going to go to jail. Oh, yeah, that son of a bitch. Good for him if he goes, because if not, he has to meet me, and I will kill that motherfucker. Real simple. If I had known it, he would not be walking. He'd be in a wheelchair. This pig will get his comeuppance. The law will get him. He's going to go to jail and die in jail."
He didn't have to act for all those mob roles.
No, he didn't. Reminds me of one of the great lines from the great Chicago rapper Lil Durk. When he's dead, we dig him up and tell him, die again.
Man, us Italians, man, when you get us angry like that, like, dude, we say some of the funniest shit ever.
Reminds me of in the movie Casino when they're at the deli, when all that goes on at like that Kansas City deli.
Yeah.
And he's yelling with his mother. And he goes, when the store is tapped, when the store is wiretapped, and he's inadvertently revealing all these secrets, and he goes, I find out where he is, I'll bury that prick.
And now to end it on a positive note, his daughter, the aforementioned Mira Sorvino, she is now has been involved with Amnesty International, a United Nations Goodwill Ambassador for combating human trafficking. Just doing everything to put some good into the world to combat that Weinstein son of a bitch. So here we are.
That's off to her. That's off to Mira Sorvino. She's a good actor too. I loved her in Mighty Aphrodite.